Laning against Yasuo, the science of understanding, deconstructing, and reconstructing the laning phase. However, it is not an all-powerful art. It is impossible to win laning phase versus him every time. If one wishes to win laning phase, then you must lose laning phase versus him many times. This is the law of equivalent exchange, the basis of all laning. In accordance with this law, there is a taboo among Kassadin players. Not feeding versus Yasuo is strictly forbidden, or what could you do to win versus this monster? Alright guys, let's get right into some tips and tricks so you can start beating Yasuo more in lane. First things first, starting off with the rune page, under the precision tree we're going to take Fleet Footwork, Triumph, Legend, Tenacity, that's right, I got it this time, and finally Coup de Grace. Finally, under the domination tree we're going to take Taste of Blood and Ravenous Hunter. And to finish things off for the 3 runes we're going to take Adaptive Force, and Armor. The Adaptive Force will give us a little bit of edge in lane, whereas the Armor will allow us to sustain versus Yasuo. Alright guys, now the moment you've been waiting for, let's look into the early laning phase of Kassadin versus Yasuo. Today we are going to break the law of equivalent exchange and show you how you can consistently win laning phase and you won't even need to pay an arm and a leg. The first thing you'll notice is most Yasuos will play very aggressive. This is because his early game is much better than yours, and he'll try to poke you down, so it's important to try and hit those early CS as much as you can before he can poke you out. In this game, Yasuo arrives late, so I use this as an opportunity to pick up some early CS before he pushes in. The next thing I'm working to set up in this laning phase is a freeze. Freezing is super important in this matchup for the early levels because if Yasuo gets the help of his jungler early, he'll be as done as that scatter that Vegeta blows up.
It's over 9,000!
One key thing in this lane is to avoid early damage and dodge Yasuo's tornado. I know, easier said than done, but I do have a tip on how you can do this more consistently. What you can do is constantly strafe left and right. This will make it harder for Yasuo to predict your movements. Don't forget to consistently change the tempo of the strafing, and to sometimes not strafe at all. In higher elos, players will learn your pattern, and if you use the same one over and over, they'll just know it, and every time you will lose lane. Okay, as we can see here, like we guessed, the wave is moving towards my tower, and that's a good thing. This will allow you to make it so much easier to last hit those creeps, and if Yasuo attacks you under tower, he'll take tower damage. Furthermore, it's so good because you avoid jungler ganks so much easier. Just be careful not to get too low or you could be dove. So, as you can see, now that the wave's here, we're easily taking last hits, and Yasuo is quite low from the earlier skirmishes. Now that we allowed the wave to push back up, we want to play quite far back. The reason for this is because we're not quite level 6, and this makes us very vulnerable to early ganks from junglers. We play back until Yasuo pushes back up. However, do not be afraid to use your E and your Q to get those last hits. If it is too dangerous to take the last hit, or you see the enemy jungler on the map, make sure you just stay in range to get EXP if possible. Right here I take some poor trades with Yasuo, however, it's not really that big of a deal because I'm able to back, and because the wave is shoved up, I can walk back to lane without having to waste my teleport. This will give me a chance to go back, buy some items, and prepare for when I'm level 6. When I hit level 6, this is when we can start playing a bit more aggressive and start making some plays. Okay, right here I'm going to quickly fast forward the laning phase until we get to level 6. Then we can discuss some of the ways you can be more aggressive and actually trade well with Yasuo. Okay, now that we're level 6 here, one thing you'll want to do is look around the map and use your ultimate to roam. If you see your jungler could use some help, you can use your R to get over there quickly and give him a hand, or you can roam bot or top to pick up some kills. So in this case, I see a bunch of things are happening down bot. I try to make it there as quick as I can to pick up some kills. Thankfully, Gragas is also down there to help clean up. I don't greed over the Caitlyn, and I decide to go back mid to go protect the tower and not lose too many turret plates. The next thing I'd like to look at are some general tips when playing versus Yasuo, and how you can effectively trade versus him using these tips. First thing I'd like to discuss is every single time Yasuo goes in for a CS, show him who's boss. Use your E to hit him. This will put him behind and punish him for each CS he tries to take. One thing I think a lot of players don't realize is that Kassadin's E actually goes through Yasuo's wind wall, so this is a really good mechanism for poking him out. That's why I do E max versus this matchup, and it helps to combat his high wave clear. Another thing you may not have noticed is using Kassadin's W and auto attack in unison. This can allow for maximum DPS in the matchup. Here's a little replay of that in slow motion. As you can see, I Q, E, auto attack, then use my W again as an auto attack reset to get one last hit in. And I come out quite ahead in the trade. I hope by using these tips and tricks, you'll be able to start winning more of your games as Kassadin versus Yasuo. If you do not agree with something, please do not hesitate to comment below. I'm always open to criticism as long as you're polite about it. Let me know in the comments below if you have any ideas you'd like me to do a video on. I'm pretty open to new ideas, and I like the suggestions. Also, I cannot wait. The new season starts on January 23rd. It's coming so soon. I'm excited to try hard and make lots of good achievements, and help more players grow in this new season. If you liked today's video, please do not hesitate to like the video, subscribe, and ring that bell notification to get the latest videos. I'll continue to do more guides on Kassadin, and will continue to upload 2 videos per week. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I want you to know I appreciate every single one of you for supporting me this far. I hope you have a great day, and remember, you are null and void.